Yo, this is Bench Gamer here. So I've watched the Harbinger trailer like 8 to 10 times now, and you've watched the Harbinger trailer like 20 times now. So let's just skip the part where I pretend that this is a live reaction and just get to my opinion, which frankly is like 99% the same as everybody else's. I think the trailer is amazingly produced. The music is phenomenal. All the Harbingers are hot as fuck, if with the exception of this dude who probably isn't going to be playable because he's not hot. Unless he gets like a younger, taller form, which I suppose is possible. I remember there was this one dude, this one vampire mosquito dude in Soul Eater who looks almost exactly like him. And then he transformed later onto into like a younger, more handsome guy later on. So I guess that could also happen to this guy. So yeah, if you want to pull for him, then yeah, there's some chance, I guess, but he's probably not going to look like this. In which case, the people who want to pull him for him might not want to pull for him later. But the point is, there are a multitude of lore excuses for him to be playable eventually. He just can't look like this exactly. As for these two, it's pretty much up in the air. This girl needs to learn how to walk on the ground because I'm sure they're not gonna actually have to animate this tall robot dude in the actual game as a normal character. He's probably just gonna get relegated to a burst animation. And this guy with the mask is gonna have to lose the mask eventually. I'm sure there's going to be some lore developments in that regard. But the point is, the trailer itself, awesome. The lore, the foreshadowing for the future conflict, awesome. Everything about it is awesome. I just have um, one tiny concern, which is that how many people actually understand like what the consequences of this trailer are and what its immediate implications are for the content that we are going to get for the next 8 to 10 months. Because it seems like everybody has already forgotten that Sumeru is coming, right? We haven't gotten all that much content for Sumeru in terms of official releases. We've just gotten 3 official splash arts for the next 3 characters in 3.0. We've gotten a teaser trailer for the Dendro reactions, which honestly I don't think was that well produced. Not because I don't like them speaking in Chinese, I just think that even what they were saying in Chinese was kind of bullshit. They didn't really talk about the reactions in great detail. And the music, in my opinion, did not suit the content of the video. So everything, including the leaks for Sumeru so far, has been just okay to lackluster. Obviously, there have been a lot of information and leaks for Sumeru, and the reaction to those leaks have been decidedly mixed. So I'm just wondering, is this trailer going to make people who are not in the know about Sumeru kind of could this trailer be misleading for them because they might now think that Sumeru is going to have a lot more content to do with the Harbingers than it actually does. I know that this trailer does tie into Sumeru at the very end where Kalai wakes up and then she kind of like dreams about this event, I assume, because Dendro is like the element of dreams and wisdom. So maybe that's what she's doing. Maybe that's why she's getting these dreams. We do know that the Torre has a part of himself, a segment of himself, or a younger version of himself that we saw in the manga present in Sumeru. And he's going to do something there. Maybe or at least it's implied that he is going to do something there because we know from the manga he's involved in that plotline. He does converse with a character from Sumeru, and that he was part of the experimentation effort in that region. So it just makes sense that he would be present there. But I'm not convinced that he is going to be one of the primary antagonists. I still think he's going to be more of a force similar to Scaramouche in Inazuma than he is going to be like Senor in Inazuma. I think he's just going to be a background enemy character, someone who does things but not necessarily actively combats against the main character, right? He's not going to be the main villain of Sumeru, in my opinion. We're still going to have to fight Scaramouche. We're still going to have to fight something that's not, you know, that's not just this guy. That's just not the Harbingers. So what I'm afraid of is that yes, everybody is so hyped for the Harbingers. This trailer is in fact the most liked video on Genshin Impact's YouTube channel, which is insane that they have been able to do this 2 years after the game has come out. So good for them, but I'm just not sure how much relevance this trailer has for Sumeru and whether or not they'll be able to follow this up with exciting content for Sumeru, especially since we've had all this controversy going on. And honestly, not in just in terms of skin color, but the designs themselves. Some people are not so hyped for them. I don't really see a lot of hype for characters like Ignari, um, Calais. Yes, they do have their own like fan base, but I don't think it's anything on the same scale as the Harbingers. It's just not on the same like it's just not on the same spectrum of hype that I'm seeing. So that is my one and only concern. I do have some questions myself about the lore in this trailer. For example, this coffin. Why do we have a coffin for Senora when she got evaporated by Raiden Shogun, right? You'd think that they wouldn't have any remains for her. So maybe they have some remnant part of Senora. That could always be the case because we know in Genshin Impact that people can have multiple bodies, like the Torii. They could have multiple different vessels, like Raiden Shogun. That's that's a thing. So it's always possible that what is encased in here is Senora. And the coffin itself also gives me some weird vibes because it looks way too modern to be something from Genshin Impact, right? Look at all these edges. Look at all this precise design, all these edges on it. It makes me think that this is a more modern invention or device than what we've currently done in Genshin Impact. Maybe it's something from Fontaine. Maybe Snezhna is that just much more advanced than everything else in Genshin Impact so far. But look at these like bracers. Look at these things holding the lid of the coffin. These look like titanium. That looks like some kind of titanium contraption. So maybe it has more to do with maybe it's some kind of tie-in to Honkai Impact's world. I'm not too sure about Honkai Impact's lore because I've barely played it, but that's what I'm thinking right now. And as for this scene, apparently this some people are saying that this is in Sumeru, but I'm not convinced yet. First of all, we don't really see any other trees besides this giant tree, so it doesn't really give off a Sumeru vibe to me. The entire plain outside of this tree just seems kind of barren, except for these like little shrubs over here, and of course the Torii is just standing here being a badass and just looking at the tree burn. So we don't know why this tree is burning. I don't really believe yet that this is in Sumeru. This could be some other tree. Like every single region in this game has a major tree. Mondstadt has the wind tree at the Archon statue. Liyue has that crystal tree above Ajdaha's grave. And there's the time traveling tree in Inazuma. So this might actually be Inazuma's tree. This might be Sumeru's tree. We just don't know yet, but there's nothing to indicate that that's the case as of now, in my opinion. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the trailer for the Harbingers. I really do hope they are able to follow this up with exciting content for Sumeru and that it doesn't just feel like we're just waiting and waiting and waiting because of the delays, because Sumeru's content might not be our thing. It might not be as exciting as what we have gotten in here in this Harbinger trailer. So my hope is that, yes, this trailer is very good, but we're still going to be consuming Sumeru content for the immediate future. So they better like make that actually good and not just give us this and blue ball us for the next year until we get like the Torii or any of these other guys. That's all I want. That's all I want. Just good content, right? This is Bench Gamer signing out.